Hello, my name's Theo and I teach Latin and classical civilization in a school in South London, and I'm making a small video for you today just to talk to you about Blooket, which you may or may not have heard of. We found this to be something that was very, very useful during lockdown and has continued to be useful throughout the past year for in-classroom teaching and also for homework. What it basically is a quizzing website where students can learn, revise and consolidate learning of key terms and vocabulary. So we found it useful for both Latin vocabulary and also key terms learning for classical civilization at GCSE and also through to A-level and Key Stage 3 Latin as well. It is a very effective learning tool for the students. It allows your teaching to tie in with retrieval practice, which is a bit of a buzzword at the moment, and we found it to be very powerful and so easy to use. So it can save a lot of time on trying to put together other things that might help with retrieval practice in the classroom as well. Students also absolutely love it, so it's effective and also fun. And the website offers a load of different functions and a load of different games, which keeps you and the students coming back for more, and you are able to adapt it for different learning situations, both using it in class and also for homework. So although I've tried out loads of different quizzing websites in the past, after a few times the students can get a bit tired of them. With Blooket it doesn't seem to be like that, and they keep on making new things, which means they are obsessed. So let me show you a little bit about how to use it. This is the main website, blooket.com, and on this main dashboard you can log in or sign up if this is the first time. I've linked to my Google account, so I'm just able to log in with Google here. There we go. And this is my dashboard, which you can see laid out with various other functions at the top, which I'll go through. On the dashboard you can immediately click on pre-made sets, which I have made myself. I can host a game. Just let it load. The favourites tend to be Gold Quest or Crypto Hack if you're in the classroom, but there are plenty of other games that you can use and lots of different ways of assessing students' learning of same sets. If we click on Gold Quest, I'll try and show you a live game where I'll play against myself. It's all very simple. It will show you the instructions to the game as soon as you start it up. You can use random names to save a bit of time on them trying to come up with a funny nickname. And you set a time for the game to take rather than a certain amount that you can get to, although you can do that. I recommend the time, and then you'll know that it will definitely finish after a certain amount of minutes, maybe as a learning check. If I host this, it will come up with a sort of waiting screen where I'll show you what it will look like for the students as well. Go through. It gives you a little random nickname if you've clicked that as an option. Then you have to start the game on your teacher screen. It'll give you the instructions. And then up on, if you imagine this on a projected screen, you can see the sort of scoreboard. If we go back to what the students will see, there is the term, or vocab in this case, where they then need to select the correct answer. As soon as they have, they can then select a chest, in this gold chest version, and that gets them the ability to do certain things. In this case, I've managed to select take 25%, which isn't going to be useful immediately, because there was no one to take 25% from, but they end up interacting with each other's points. So it's not just about building your own, but it's also about what the others are doing as well. This one, I've got double gold, but still haven't got any gold. There we go, 30 gold. And I'll show you what the screen will look like in a second. Also, I'll show you what happens if they get it wrong. Incorrect, but it will show you the correct answer, and they can sort of continue to work away and make sure that they can get it right in the future. So you can see here on my phone, I've also been playing. They'll rack up against each other. If I can get to... Yes, you can see it's all racking up from my phone as well. And if there's ever a moment where you take gold from someone else, or swap, there's also a swap gold function. It will pop up on here and you can see, and they'll go crazy about who's interacting with who. And they absolutely love it. I think you get the idea of what a live game might look like. As well as that, you can host a homework. So if we select a different sort of game down here, for example the cafe, which is where they need to build up a sort of system, again just with the same set of key terms, or in this case vocab, a system which will get their cafe the most amount of points. You can set it up as a task that they'll need to do over a whole week. So I can set it up for a whole week, for example, where the deadline for it will be in a week's time. You assign that. It gives you a link, should do in a second. There we go. And you simply click the link and it will copy. And then you can send that out to students in an email, or we use Google Classroom. There are other things that you might be using to communicate with students when they're at home. And they can do that over the whole week, and you can review it at the end and see exactly you can see all the data basically. You can see exactly which questions they've been getting right and which they haven't, and I'll show you that in a moment as well. Now you may be thinking this all sounds great, but we haven't got any of these sets set up already. Just like on a few other quizzing websites like Quizlet, you can go up here to Discover and you can search for various things. If I search for classical civilization, we've got a few sets that are pre-made by our very own Mr. Hancock Jones. And if I click on this one, this looks like a good one, I can then favourite it. And as soon as it's favourited, it will be very easily accessible from the dashboard, which is the screen we go to when you log in. Because you just go to the left here, click favourites, and we can see that one selected, Warrior Women, is set up in there as well. And then you can just click to host, view the set itself, And you can also, if you encourage students to make their own accounts, they can just find these sets and play to help them learn in their own time as well. And that's the solo mode. If you want to create your own sets, that's also very, very easy. You can manually create your own, where you will be able to enter a term and its definition, and you can just build up loads of questions and answers, terms, definitions, vocab, translations, all sorts. And there is also, for those of you who have been using Quizlet a lot, this Quizlet import function, which I found very, very useful, because we have all sorts of Quizlet sets, but to use Quizlet in class can sometimes be a bit difficult. And Blooket offers a really good sort of learning check option with all the games it has to offer. So if I click Quizlet import, or I better put the title to my set. All the steps to create this are very, very simple, and it will run through exactly how you need to do it on the website itself. I'll show you what I am going to do this as well. You go to Quizlet. Here I'm logged in on our Quizlet here. You can go down, if you're in any sort of Quizlet set, to the more, the three dots offer more options. Export. You can copy all the text, go into here, and you paste. Quite often you might need to flip the questions and answers on Quizlet sets so that the question is the Latin rather than English, but you can of course keep it the same. And add, and then there we go, we've added another set, and it's all ready to go and ready to be played. And the final thing I wanted to show you is how this can be very useful for data collection and for you to understand how these students are actually doing. If I finally go to my dashboard, the other thing down the left is the homework. I can go down to this one, which I recently set up for my Year 11s. You can see generally how they're doing. 89% of the questions were correct. That's good enough, I suppose. And who's done the best is laid out below. This was a cafe game, I think, where they had to get furthest into their cafe when it gets harder and harder every day. And if we scroll further down, you can see the questions, where you can see who got each question correct and the percentage correct for each question themselves. So this tells me, this question being the least correct, that maybe I need to teach a little bit more about a Roman legionary soldier's equipment. And this just allows them to also understand what they do and don't know, as well as me understanding whether their learning has been checked. And all in all, it's a very useful website that has a load of different games. My best advice is just to explore a little bit and make use of it. And it really does make your lives easier if you are trying to buy into the retrieval practice in teaching these days. I hope you've found that a little bit useful. Any questions around how to use Blooket, don't hesitate to contact Mr. Hancock Jones, or Rob, if that's how you know him, who I work next to. Thank you very much.